Hi everybody, my name is Jheronimus Duko and welcome in my home studio. I'm going to show you how you can create a track in Ableton Live 10. When you open up Ableton Live and you look at it, you can see this window. Immediately there are two things that I would like to change. If you go to Options and Preferences, here you've got a tab that's called Look and Feel. And this is the default theme, mid-light, and I like mid-dark. This is just a personal preference. When I go to this tab, then you can see that over here I switched all the warp modes off. So here you've got the loop, warp, short samples. I can't remember what it was on default, but over here it's like unwarped. And here's auto warp, long samples off. No, I don't want that. If I leave it on, Ableton is going to do all things to my audio that I don't want or I'm not aware of. Over here in Ableton, you've got two views. We've got a session view and an arrangement view. And you can switch between the views with these icons. The session view is typically for Ableton. If you want to toggle them but not click on it, you can hit tab. And you can toggle between one and the other. The session view is really helpful for live performances. Or when you just want to mess around and play around. In the arrangement view, this is a timeline and that's all it is. So the song starts over here and slowly moves to the right until the end of the song. The arrangement view is really helpful for just creating a track in the studio and creating a song. It's easier to see what you are doing, and if I'm honest, I work in the arrangement view for 90% at the time. Later on in this video, I will show you how you can create your track in the arrangement view. But now we're going to start with the session view. I would like to look at the session view as a giant looper. I just picked up my bass guitar. And the first thing that I would like to do is just look how loud the input is. This is the most important thing that I'm going to tell you today. Don't ever clip in your way in or your way out of the D.A.W. So just to be sure, I would like to have my picks, the loudest thing that I can play, just on -6 or even less. So let's see. Set up a tempo. So over here, I can say like this is really slow, like 80 BPM, beats per minute, or 120 is the default. This is the icon for the metronome. I've got a count in, then it just counts off like 1, 2, 3, 4, but the computer can't count, so it's like pick, book, 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 and I have to start playing, right? This is the sound of the metronome, and that's all you need to know for now. And this is the quantization of when it's going to record and when it's going to stop. Spacebar is play and stop, by the way. Record on this track. So, and now I tried to hit the stop button, but I was a little bit too late. So over here I've got this bar and I can drag that in there. So I can have my 4-bar loop over here. Now I've got two tracks. For one track, let me show you this. Here I've got my record in section, so I can choose like what I would like to record. I've got my pedal board set up at input 5. So that's what I chose, so I can record my bass. Here, this is the volume fader. And from there I can adjust the volume of the track. This is my panning knob. If you double click something, it goes back to the default setting. This is mute. This is solo. It plays only this track and not the other one. And here you can arm your track so you can record something. To create another track, I can right click on it and say insert audio track. And the shortcut is Ctrl+T. So Ctrl+T. And now I've got another track set up and I can record something else. Create another track. Choose the right input. MIDI is a protocol, so a synthesizer or a sampler or a sequencer can communicate with each other. So it's not actual sound that you are recording, but it's data like note on, note off, louder, stuff like that. So if I want to use those channels, they don't make sound by themselves. So I have to put something in there that can make the sound and can listen to the MIDI signal. On this side, I've got my browser and I can browse to different plugins and different settings. And here is a tab and that's called drums. So over here are a couple of drum kits that you can choose. And if you click on it, you can hear it. So you can pick one you like and you can drag and drop it onto your channel. Wait for it. And there we go. And now, over here, we've got the instrument. You can drag and drop audio clips as well, like pre-recorded clips. So now this track becomes an audio channel. You can hear it, that's my kick drum. So, and when I delete it, you can see this track has become an audio track. Over here, I've got my drums. And you can see it over here. This is the device. And there are a bunch of samplers within a drum rack. I've got fancy pads to play the drums on, but I guess you don't. If you hit this button over here, now you can play on your keyboard. Now this indicates that we are playing too high. So what we can do is hit Z and we're going down an octave. And if I hit X, we're going up an octave. So, and now I can play on my computer keyboard. And if you hit M on your keyboard, that's a shortcut for that icon. Okay, over here we also can insert a MIDI clip. So right click and we can hit that. But you also can create a MIDI clip with Ctrl, Shift and M. Now over here we've got something that's called a piano roll. In the beginning you can't hear anything. But if you click this little icon, it's a little headphone icon, you can hear something. Okay, over here you can hear your sounds, and over here you can draw something in. So double click adds a note and double click on it again and it will delete a note. So now let's see if we could do something like. And now it's all about getting creative with it. I can't tell you how to do this part because this is just what you like. If you hit B, then you've got this little pencil over here. Then you can draw in something with one click. Over here I can just drag it, and now I've got my hi-hat set up. Then if I right click over here, I can change my grid. So if I do something like this, now I can drag it. Here underneath you get controls, so you can push up the volume or bring it down, just for each individual note. Click on the note by holding Alt, and you can drag it up or down. So what I would like to do is delete this and make this a little bit louder than the other. And now duplicate it. It's Ctrl D, and Ctrl D duplicates it. So for instance, if we go to a track and I hit Ctrl D, I've got another one. So Ctrl D is really helpful. Another shortcut that's really helpful is Shift Tab. So when you hit Tab, you go from the session view to the arrangement view. And if you hit Shift Tab, you can go to this view. This is the plugin view. And now you're going to Edit view. What's also nice when you're a beginner, when you hit the question mark, then you can see your info view. When I listen to my own performances, I think I wasn't really tight enough at my bass percussion. So what I can do is right click this. Here's the quantize settings, so hit that. And over here it says the amount and stuff like that. So I would like to go to 16th notes and hit OK. And now look how tight I am. Now I've got all the drums on one channel, and that's not necessarily useful if I want to mix my drums. So here there's a little tab, that's a triangle, and if I hit that, now I can see all the sounds of the drum rack, and I can change them individually. So this is the hi-hat, bring it down a little. Maybe the bass drum, put it up a little. Yeah, that's better. This is really nice, but I also can enhance my sound by adding plugins. For my snare, for instance, I would like to have some reverb. And I can go to my audio effects. So I can just drag my reverb on the channel. And here you can hear the reverb. This is the dry wet knob. And now I've got less reverb, and now it's all reverb. So, audio effect, let's see, where is it? EQ 8. Drag it on there. And I can adjust the settings. At the instruments, we've got a couple of synthesizers, and some of them are pretty amazing. Over here you've got some presets where you can click on. So here is the triangle again, and so I like that one. And if I like that one, I can just drag it on there again. I can play it on my keyboard, hit M again. And let's see if we can think of something nice. Let's say that I really like this, but now it's just one loop, right? So what I can do is create more of these rows. Control I, and there's another one. Duplicate this one, so Control D. And then I got another one, and another one, and another one if I want to. If I want to take them away, press Delete or Control X. Okay, now I can have a little bit of fun. So I would like to start with my bass chords. And later on, I would like to add the keys. Okay, and maybe there's one without bass line, without drums. Then everything together. Let's see, and what is cool, I think. Yeah, leave those, and now those are only chords, and leave one. And now I can play around. So over here, I can press play. And the other one. And this is really cool for live performances or just playing around. So now I've got this, but let's say I'm really happy with it and I want to go further in my arrangement view. First over here, I set up the cursor like in the beginning of the arrangement view. So what I have to do is hit the record button of the arrangement view. And now it starts. And I can play around. And over here you can see like it's recording all the settings, everything that I do. And even if I adjust the volume, it will adjust it over here. And stop. So now we can see over here we've got our song, but it doesn't play. So, and that's this button, or over here this button. See, and you can see if you look at it closely, you can see like it's the triangle, the play triangle, and those horizontal lines. So from that other view, the arrangement view. In the arrangement view, everything is grayed out. So that indicates like, well, you can't play it from here. And I have to hit this button. And now we can play the song over here. And now from here, I can adjust everything a little bit further. I can drag this around, make it longer or shorter. If I hover over this edge, you can see I can fade in or fade out, and I can cut it. So stand in the middle and hit Control E, and I can cut my clip. And of course now I can adjust my effects even more. Add some effects. If I want to look to my automation and change it, I can hit A on my keyboard, or I can go to this icon. And now I can see the automation. If I want to delete this, because I don't like this anymore for some reason, I can go over here and hit Delete Automation or Control Delete. And now my automation is gone. And I can do whatever I want with it again. I would like to automate this one, so hit A, and over here it says frequency, and that's this knob that I've got. And now I just can draw it in here. And of course, I can just start recording in the arrangement view as well. We can rename this, so right click and say rename, or hit Ctrl R. And now I can say like solo. And there we go. And just hit F9 or this button. If you really like this and you want to export it out of Ableton, I recommend to just take the part that is loudest and play from there. Now you would like to look at your meters over here and get something around -6. If you highlight every channel, you can adjust the volume of each track together. And you can look at your meter until it's something like -6. It doesn't have to be exact, so this is good enough. It's just to make sure we're not clipping at the end. This is what you send out to the mastering engineer, and he or she is gonna make it way louder the way you like it. If you would like to do it yourself because you can't afford one, or this is just for a couple of friends, then it's a good idea to put a limiter on there. Go to limiter. Here it is, double click. So now we're gonna add that extra 6 dBs. And now you can see like we added that extra 6 dBs, and over here it's not clipping, but every time when it clips it's just taking down the volume a little. If I exaggerate this, then it sounds like shit, so don't do that. Just a tiny little bit, tiny amount, and you're good to go. Now, if I want to get this out of Ableton, you have to let Ableton know, like the song starts over here and it ends over here. Leave a little bit over there, a little bit extra time in the end for your delays or your reverbs. Okay, hit File, hit Export, and now you can see it starts at bar 9. The render is 33 bars long. Now over here you get the bit depth. If you would like to send your track to a mastering engineer, you choose the highest one, 32 bits. And no dithering is needed. No limiter, and that's it, -6 dBs. Give it to your mastering engineer and he or she will deal with it. When we do it by yourself, choose 16-bit and then choose dither. Choose anything you like, it doesn't matter as long as you choose dither. Okay. Here is an option like you can make an MP3 out of it or not, up to you. Hit Export, make a decision of where you want your file to go, and hit Save. And that's it. That's how you create a song in Ableton Live. If you learned something, hit that like button. If you want to learn more, please subscribe, and I will see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.